Battle of the Sexes is a 2017 film that gives an inside look into one of the most famous sports matches of all time, the tennis match between Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King. And this was literally the battle of the sexes. We had on one side the best female player at the time going up against a former champion who was really close to being a senior. He was like 55, 56 or whatever. We had Billie Jean King fighting for women's rights, and then over here we had Bobby Riggs basically fighting for all those guys at the time who thought that women should just stay in either the kitchen or the bedroom. Emma Stone portrays Billie Jean King, and she is absolutely fantastic in this film. When I first saw La La Land and I saw what she gave to the film, I immediately thought this woman deserves an Oscar for what she did. And you know what? She actually ended up going on and won the Academy Award for Best Actress. So right now she is the reigning champion for that award. This is the greatest that Stone has ever done so far, and it just shows to all the naysayers who thought that her performance in La La Land was just a fluke, that it really wasn't. And who knows, I'm actually hoping that she gets another Oscar nomination for this. And Steve Carell portrays Bobby Riggs, and he's fantastic as well in this. He's extremely funny, and watching him I realized that it would be tremendously difficult to find somebody else to play this character, especially with all the mannerisms that he was known to have, and when you actually see the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. As for the story itself, it's not focused solely on the Battle of the Sexes match, which is strange, especially because that's what a lot of the marketing focused on, was just the tennis match and a few of the things leading up to it. But no, there were quite a few other plot points in the film, including the formation of a new women's-only tennis tournament, because at the time, men were actually earning 8 times more than women, even though they were selling about the same amount of tickets. And it also focuses a good bit on Billie Jean King's struggle with her sexuality. And it's also not the case that the film focuses on both Bobby Riggs and Billie Jean King, which the marketing actually showed that too. No, this is really a film about Billie Jean King. And I loved learning the inside story about everything, including learning everything that came before the Battle of the Sexes, because I didn't know anything about this little tiny pocket of history, and I loved learning about it. But though I loved the story, I did have, 2 issues with the film. The first is that with all the plot points in the film, King's sexuality struggle, the formation of the women's tennis tournament, as well as the Battle of the Sexes itself, I felt like the film was having a bit of a difficult time keeping focus on certain things. And while the film is, in the end, about the Battle of the Sexes, there are a few scenes that make it feel like the film is actually not focusing on the Battle of the Sexes match, but rather on King's sexuality, including a scene close to the very end with her fashion designer played by Alan Cumming. And secondly, while I was enjoying my time just soaking up every single moment watching Stone just kill as King, I did notice that Bobby Riggs was pushed to the side quite a bit, and as much as I enjoyed Steve Carell's performance, I do wish that the overall narrative did put a little bit more focus on him, because I just didn't feel like I got enough of him to really satisfy me fully. In the end, Battle of the Sexes is a great film, and a sports film, or at least a film centered around a particular sport, is great when I can actually watch it and enjoy myself. I am giving Battle of the Sexes 4 out of 5 reels. Well, that'll do it for me today. Please subscribe if you haven't already for more reviews and content, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and farewell until the next video. Bye.